Hi everyone, this is Marco Brown. Over the next 9 days, I'm going to give you the 8 rules for getting paid 100% for the work you do. Today, I wanted to talk to you about some statistics and kind of lay out the problem. And I wanted to talk about my experience for a second first. So I started my law firm in 2010. And in the beginning, I made every mistake there was to make. I took cases I shouldn't have taken. I took everything that came in the door. I didn't bill that often. I did way too much work and didn't get paid for it. I let myself get fat and stressed, and I had real problems in my relationships, in my spirituality, in my emotions. I just did all of the things I shouldn't have done. And then I decided in 2015 that I was going to change all of that, because I realized in 2015 that if I didn't make really drastic changes, that I was going to die when I was about 60 of a heart attack. And I'm not being hyperbolic in that. I realized that I was going to die when I was 60 of a heart attack. I decided I didn't want that to happen, so I decided to change everything. First thing I changed was I decided to get paid 100% for the work I did, because that seemed like a good place to start. I was already doing the work, I wasn't getting paid for it. I thought, let's reverse that and see what changes I can make in my life by doing that one thing. And doing that one thing literally changed everything. And the next 8 days are those rules that we're going to talk about, those rules 1 through 8. But today I want to talk to you about some statistics and show you that my experience in this is not very different from the experience of most American attorneys. So let's start with some Clio data. Clio is a case management system. Some Clio data from 2019. Now what Clio does is it goes through and it combs the data from its users. So this is not survey data, this is actual behavioral data from Clio users. They have tens of thousands. They get to this data together, they anonymize it, and they look at the trends. They look and see what's going on with American attorneys. And here's what it shows. The average American attorney works about 8 hours a day. The average American attorney bills 2.5 hours a day out of those 8 hours and collects 1.7 hours out of those 8 hours worked. That is a realization rate of 21%. Now that sounds amazing to some and it sounds pretty normal to others, but that is the average when you look at it. When we're looking at New York and Arkansas and all these different places, that is the average, 21% realization rate. So let's go from that to some LegalZoom data. LegalZoom found in a 2015 study that approximately 56% of American attorneys are solos. They bring in approximate revenues of $78,000 per year and a profit of $63,000 per year. So the average American attorney works 8 hours a day, collects 1.7 hours a day, and makes $63,000 per year. I don't know about you, those are terrible statistics when I hear them. And they're true because I have lived them. Now they might not be true for everybody, but I have lived through that and I can tell you it is not a good place to be, which is exactly why I talk about all of these things. Now, one other statistic and then we'll kind of be done for today. We'll get on the rules tomorrow. The average time it takes a lawyer to get paid in America. So from the time a lawyer does work until the lawyer sends out the invoice, on average is 87 days. Then from the time the invoice goes out to the time it gets paid is an additional 83 days. 170 days from the time a lawyer does work until the lawyer gets paid for that work. Almost 6 months. And that is a huge problem. We're going to go through that because all of the data show once you get past about 45 or 60 days on an invoice, your chance of getting paid on an invoice goes way, way down. Okay, so that's the problem. Those are the statistics we talked about today. Rule number 1 tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.